Okay, so today we're going to be doing risk and portfolio stuff. So what we have here is a stock, okay? So let's say that I'm buying like a company stock, and let's say this company stock is like super duper risky. Like the guy is like, yo, like there's a very high chance that you could like literally lose all your money. And I'm going to be like, then why would I even invest in it? And the reason is, well, not the reason, but to make up for the fact that it's really risky, they're going to be like, okay, if you want, it's going to be a really high return. Like, for example, you could get double your money, which is a lot, I think, probably. And you're like, oh, damn, like, even though there's, like, a really high risk, they're also giving, like, a really high return. And that's kind of, like, how it works. And if something's, like, not that risky, then the return might be kind of lower because you don't really need that much of, like, a return to make up for the fact that you're taking on some risk by, putting your money into that thingy. And so here's, like, very risky stuff. Here's, like, medium risky stuff. And here's, like, this risk-free means RF, which is things that are they literally have no risk. Like, for example, government stuff, like government bonds, those are like pretty trustworthy. So those things have no risk at all, and that rate is probably going to be like the lowest rate. I mean, it is the lowest rate. So anyway, if we were to draw out risk and return, we would see that, it's an upward slope. Because when the risk goes up, we're like, oh my god, like to make up for that risk, they're going to have to increase their return. Cool, great. So that's why this chart looks like this. Another thing is, so there's risk-free thing we were talking about here. So at the risk-free thing, there is absolutely no risk. And if there's absolutely no risk, then the risk is equal to 0. So where this is 0 is this point over here. Or like, let's say like if I were to draw if this was my line, this would have been my risk-free point kind of thing. So right now I drew the line like that, so that is my risk-free point. And let's say this was 5%, like, well, because why not? So this is generally how the chart looks like. Great. So next what we're going to do is go through like the Sharpe ratio. Oh crap. And stuff like that. Okay, cool. Okay, so first of all, oh crap, but you have to go through that too. Okay, so okay, so there's a thing where if a person buys like a whole bunch of different stocks instead of like one stock, their risk actually goes down. And why is this? Because of correlation. Correlation is like how like when one stock moves this way, the other stock might move this way or whatever. So basically what this means is, let's say that we have two stocks that move in like completely opposite directions, okay? So let's say like the one stock goes like maybe like from 20, I don't know, like 10 to like 20. Such a weird number. One of the stocks goes upwards and then the other stock goes downwards. So what happens? They sort of cancel out. So if that was to happen, like let's say I were to just buy this, let's say I were to just buy this one stock that was going downwards. From 2010 to 2020, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I'm losing all my money. But if I buy that other stock that also goes up, it sort of cancels out and it lowers that volatility, that risk. So that's why you should always buy a whole bunch of stocks and diversify your portfolio. That's another cool stock trading stuff we learned. So what this means is, if I were to draw, like here's risk. Okay, also risk is shown by standard deviation. And then return is just going to be like expected return, whatever, okay? Just like expected return, like mean or whatever. So what we have here is, wait, what was I talking about right now? Right, okay, so let's say we have like two stocks. Okay, here's like stock one, and then here's like the other stock, okay? So like this stock has like this much risk, and the other one, and like this much thingy, and this much thingy. What they're saying is, if you actually put these two together, you will actually get like a higher expected return for a lower standard deviation kind of thing. I mean, okay, you won't get both, but if you were to plot out like different like combinations of each of the thing, like if you were to have god, my throat hurts. If you were to have like, I don't know, like all of stock A or like all of stock B, or if you were to have like 80% of stock this one and like 20% of this one, or if you were to put your money like 50% in this for 50% of this, whatever, and if you plot out the expected returns of that thingy, it'll look something like this. Okay, so basically over here, this is saying that look, like at any of these points, at any point like above here, like above this, like this midpoint kind of thing, you're getting a higher return for a lower risk. How cool is that? Because it sort of cancels out. Remember, we're talking about the whole canceling out. And another thing is anything below this line. Oh my god, I'm supposed to be talking about the Sharpe ratio. Stop. Whatever. Anything below this line is bad because, yo, like, look. If I were to go even, like, above, my volatility goes up. Okay, like, this point is bad because look at this point versus this point. They have the same risk, but this guy here has an expected return way higher than this guy over here. So basically, anything below this line is, like, disgusting. Don't ever buy it. So you only have to purchase, like, this much stuff. Okay, cool. Great. Okay, next is, so we have that first line, okay, where this is a risk-free and this is some kind of like line, whatever. Here's expected return. Talking way too much, it's gonna take too long, okay. And let's say that this line looks like, oh, okay, let's say that our line looks like this, okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to talk about the Sharpe ratio. Okay, so the Sharpe ratio is, okay, so basically what we want to do is we want to get the best portfolio possible, okay? Like right now I'm saying these are like, so these are like some pretty good portfolios that you can choose. And the question is, which one should I choose? Okay, like I have so many options, but which one is like the best thing that I should choose? And for that, you need to combine this, a line over here, okay, this line over here, plus this thingy, and find out like a tangent portfolio. This is like indifference curves where the tangent equals whatever, cool. So I have to use that, and from that we know that we have to find the portfolio that is exactly tangent. So this risk-free rate, hold up, is it this thing that you can move? Hold on, okay, so expected return equals the risk-free rate, so this thingy. So if you were to literally just like plot this out, plus, and this is the X value. Wait, this looks a bit wrong. What equals risk-free plus? So this is supposed to be beta. Then it's supposed to be what? Uh-oh. Okay, whatever. No, what the hell? Is this supposed to be beta? Okay, no, I'm just gonna write risk here because I don't want to look at my notes and take up too much time. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna write risk here. That's so weird. I don't want to do that. Okay, whatever. Risk-free. Okay, yeah, this is correct. So there's that. Holy crap. CML. Do I really have to go back to those things? I swear to God. Chapter 8. Nice. Correlation, cool, I don't know, oh, there we go, okay, so they don't even have access labels, so I don't even know, but what's the formula here, bro? Okay, whatever, anyway, this is supposed to be, this thing guy over here, I think it's just like this equation should be different. Oh, right, yeah, my bad. Okay, so it's supposed to look like this. Expected return on your portfolio is whatever you put into something. So like, let's say I put something into like the portfolio A plus whatever I put into portfolio B. And the whatever I put into portfolio B will literally be like 1 minus the other guy. Like this is like let's say I put like 60% into A, so this has to be 40% into B. So this is what this thing looks like. Cool. God, so that's a capital allocation line. Yikes. Right, so this thing over here is called a capital allocation line. Cool. And to find the best portfolio, we want to find the portfolio that is tangent to this. So we go through like a whole bunch of other like CALs, and we're like, ew, no, it's not tangent. And then go do this one, and we're like, oh, look, it's tangent. It's not really, but whatever. It's good enough. And so this is the best portfolio line. So this has to be right here is the best portfolio with these two thingies. So basically what this says is if you only had to invest in A and B, this is what you should invest. This is like, so let's say this might be like 40% A and like 60% B or something like that, okay? So that's what this is. So there's this thing called the Sharpe Ratio, which is our expected return on some portfolio, like portfolio, I'm going to write P for portfolio, minus RF over, so this is standard deviation of that portfolio, this is RF, so it's risk-free. Basically what this is saying is, let's say we have this portfolio here, this is ERP, so basically saying, this is literally like the slope of this line, because it's like the Y, change in Y, so ERP minus RF all over the X, so that's the standard deviation. So this is the slope, and basically this is like how much extra little benefit do you get per unit of standard deviation, like per unit of risk, how much extra little, what the hell did I do? How much extra little benefit do you get? So basically how that works is, I mean, that's just what it is. So the thing is, you have to include RFs, because like, for example, let us just assume, okay, that the expected return of P was actually equal to RF. So if we were to use this formula, it would have been ERP minus RF all over this thing, which would have been, since these two are the same, it would be 0, which means they would be telling you, bro, use the thing that has a, wait, hold on, I don't know what they're telling you. Anyway, let's just, okay, this is what 0 would be. And let's say if you didn't include, like, I don't know, the RF, the fact that RF was like equal to RP, you just be like, yo, this is like the best option. I mean, standard deviation P, whatever. And this would give you some kind of like number. So, and this would be like the slope, and this would also be the slope. So if you were to be given this number thing, they would have been like, so maybe the slope was something like this. Oh, tablet's not moving. Was like this. Versus this, the slope was like this. Why is this better? Because if the risk-free was actually equal to this thingy, then you would literally only buy the risk-free thing, like, because this thing has some kind of amount of risk, and this just has like absolutely no risk. Obviously this is hypothetical, because, you know, the risk-free thing would not equal to this portfolio thing, just because the risk-free is always like lower. But, you know, hypothetically it would be the same. So they would be telling you, like, what you probably should be getting is literally only the risk-free, because it gives you the same return with 0 risk. Whereas if you were to follow this guy over here, like without including the fact that risk-free is 0, and just look at ERP, it would be something like, yo, like buy this portfolio over here, and it would be like, bro, like I'm actually taking on a risk. Why would I do that? So anyway, this is a formula. So basically, when this is the maximum, is the best, because this is like benefit per unit of risk. We want the highest benefit per unit of risk. So we're trying to find the slope as large as possible, so that it also touches this CAL at some point. And that is when it does tangent. So that is basically the best portfolio with A and B. That's that. Now, you might think that's the end of it, but no. Here's the thing. You can buy that portfolio, okay? So basically now that portfolio, let's say portfolio AB, that is like the best thing you can do if you could only buy these two. But here's the thing. You also got a risk-free asset. Like you could buy a government bond, whatever. So what they're saying is, you can actually buy anything that's on from here to here, or like literally anyway from here. Like basically just find out what CAL, like what capital allocation line, I don't really know what that means, I'm gonna have to learn that, is tangent to this, and then basically anything that's on that is your best option. So that is that. So basically when you actually calculate your expected return or whatever, you'd be like, expected return of my like total portfolio would be, and let's say this portfolio AB was called like portfolio. Okay, it's like basically it's no longer like an A versus B thing. Now it's more like a portfolio AB versus RF thing. That's it. So it would be like risk-free asset, and you put like X amount in it, and then portfolio, and then you put like 1 minus X into it. Remember, like 40%, or like, I don't know, 28%, and then like 100 minus 28, 72%, I think. So something like that. So yeah, that's basically your best portfolio. I think that's it for this thing. Yeah, okay, this is kind of the only thing I wanted.